All right. Hello, everybody. It's almost summer, but it's 90 degrees out. So we thought we'd talk about a few of our favorite rosés of the season. So I've got Madeline Trefan here, Master Sommelier of Plum Market. I'm
Hello.
Anthony Minnie, Wine Director of Plum Market. And
We love wine, so we like sharing that with you.
so these are all rosés imported by the famous wine importer Kermit Lynch out of Berkeley, California. You can see that in all the back labels here. Always important to look at a back label because it's usually a good confirmation of quality if it's from a quality importer. And Kermit Lynch really built a lot of the category of rosé and wines from southern France that were really unknown and unheard of in the United States until the 70s and 80s when he championed these estates.
There's actually, and it's not on the back label, I was looking for it, Kermit, and there is a gentleman called Kermit, Mr. Lynch, likes to quote Thomas Jefferson on his website, something to the effect that, without good wine, life is not worth living, or words to that effect. So
Yep.
let's go chin chin.
Chin chin. All right.
Cheers, everybody, to a terrific summer for you.
So this is one's kind of a perennial favorite. This is the Fonsant Gris de Gris from Corbière. So this is in the Languedoc, southern France, on the Mediterranean. And what is Gris de Gris, Madeline?
It means actually, well, gray of gray, or pale red of pale red, because it's referring to the fact that Grenache is actually a family of grapes that includes a Blanc, Grenache Gris, and Grenache Rouge. May I reach across to you, Anthony?
Like Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Gris, Pinot Grigio, all in the Pinot family. We always love the Gris de Gris. It's just, I don't know how. Why is it so good? Why is it so good?
And year after year, it's one of these wines, and I fall in love with wines like this, where we started focusing on it 10 years ago. It's never disappointed us. It always reflects the vintage. Sometimes it's more filigreed and lighter, sometimes it's a little bit richer, but it's always light on its feet. It's easy drinking, but it bears examination, and I think you can open it for anybody and it will please them. I would say, if I had to shorthand it, that this is on the lighter bodied side of a dry rosé.
Yeah.
It's really lifted and pretty.
One thing, I think a lot of people get confused about rosé. What is it? Most of these rosés are made from red grapes. Grenache is a primary grape variety, and we chose to focus on these instead of Côte de Provence because Côte de Provence, I think, right now is the most popular. But we wanted to show people a different side of rosé, and Gris de Gris is of course all Grenache, and the Côte de Provence wines are usually Cinsault. And they maybe are even a little bit lighter and more delicate, more
fruitier,
more citrusy. This is a little fuller. I'm getting more almost like strawberry or orangey kind of tones to it, but very similar to Côte de Provence. So if you like Côte de Provence, definitely something to try here. It's under $20. I think for the money, it is our best value.
It's hard to beat, and frankly, when we're talking about dry rosés of quality, it's definitely apples to apples. So they're not like massive strokes of difference between the two. But we should say that this is from a growing region, Corbière, that's quite close to the French border, and is known really largely for red wine. This producer also makes very good red, but I think the consistency, the easiness of this wine, especially at the price point, it's easy quality, is one of the reasons it's so successful for us. Oh, and look at the color is actually pale, and we should talk about color too, because that can be absolutely adjusted by the producer depending on what color they like to show. Most of these are intentionally made. Do you want to talk about direct press?
So they take the red grapes and they just direct press them. So it's basically there's no maceration of skin. So a red wine, all red grapes have white juice, and you would macerate them on the skins to extract the red color. In rosé, you don't do that. You just take the grapes and you just press them very gently, and you extract only this color. So they get just a little bit of that skin contact.
You can, if you want, give it a little more contact to make the color darker, but the punchline is you're not adding red wine to get this color.
Correct.
I love that wine. I mean, I just had lunch And this to me is refreshing. It's actually waking me up a little bit. And it's cleansing, but it's not excessively tart. It's pleasantly citrusy, like you mentioned. So then we're moving to Bandol.
So Bandol. So kind of the bookends here of our everyday rosé with the probably the most special rosés of southern France, Bandol, which is a region in Provence, just a few miles away from the Mediterranean, that historically has been the most famous area for rosé. Why is it so famous? I think one of the reasons is the grape called Mourvèdre, which is a big, deep, dark red wine that you can often find in Chateauneuf-du-Pape or even in Spain as the grape Monastral. But here, because it's so close to the Mediterranean, it retains a lot of freshness to it. And when made into a rosé, it's just beautiful. And a lot of the freshness really comes through in the wine. But also, I think there's a little bit more density to these wines, which makes them so complex and compelling and very age-worthy as well. These are young wines. They can age in your cellar, which is amazing.
After 12 months, you don't have to say, oh no, time is up.
I think start with Terre Brune.
That makes sense.
In my mind, it's always a little bit leaner. These estates are not far from each other. And Terre Brune is more on a limestone soil versus Grand Marais being more on clay.
It's prettier. Slightly deeper rosé. And to put it in a frame of reference, if you don't have a convenient map of France in front of you, though I will tell you that Google Images is a fun thing to have if you've got your laptop in front of you. Bandol is actually almost equidistant from Marseille to the west and Monaco to the east. And what Anthony said about being right up against the Mediterranean, there it is. That maritime influence is what breezes. So even though you're in a warm growing region, it's moderated by that Big Ten. I can smell it even before I put my nose in the glass. It smells just great.
And down there in the south, traditionally they drink rosé instead of white wine. So this is red wine country, and in the summertime they're drinking either young reds cold or they're drinking rosé.
And this is serious. I mean, this is going to be equal to the quality of any red in its price point, if not exceeding it. And this can go as an aperitif with, hors d'oeuvres and like slide into any main course you want to throw at it. They're very, very flexible wines and have just enough tannic grip to handle, something with, some fat and deep flavor to it.
I always think all the Mediterranean vegetables and olive oil and salty things, olives and anchovies and things like that. But also I think some non-traditional pairings of like sushi and salads and things like that. They're very versatile wines. So if you like dry white wine, I think this is something to consider. If you're getting into French wines like Sancerre or Chablis, definitely this would be in your wheelhouse of something to try.
And if you as an American are visiting this area for the first time and you have ordered beef steak, which is, hamburger without the bun, right? Or a lamb chop or two, you don't have to transition to red. This wine can handle it. This is really good.
Really good.
And this is dominantly a grape called
Mourvèdre. Yeah. Versus Côte de Provence style is more Cinsault, Grenache. We wanted to focus on Bandol because it's just smaller and you don't see them as much. So there's a lot of Côte de Provence out there. A lot of it's very good. We were just talking about Domaine Haut, which we'll get later in July. But, these are still relative values. I mean, these are $35 for the pinnacle of rosé.
And fair to say, there's very little, mediocre Bandol out there.
No, they're all good. So if you get any Bandol, they're very high quality. These are also both certified organic estates.
I love showing the color because there's this little hint of orange in it, right? Yeah. In ancient times, they used to call this the eye of the partridge,
or the onion skin.
The onion skin, yes. Mm-hmm. This is long, too. You know how we pay attention to finish in every other kind of wine. Of course, you can pay attention to it in quality rosé. What are the price points on these?
They're both $35.
Great.
Which I think is an astonishing value, especially when we're talking about some of the other ultra premium Côte de Provence rosés that are well north of $50, and these have remained at a very solid price point.
Boy, did you pick the right order.
Yeah.
This one is more concentrated. It's younger. Actually, it's occurred to me this can handle bottle age.
The Grenache to me is a little more flashy.
Mhm.
It's denser.
And oddly, this one has around 50% more Vedro with Grenache and Senso. Both of these are family owned and operated, which is true for all of Kermit Lynch's growers. I don't even think he handles a co-op, does he, off the top of my head?
He does the Coterone he works with is from a co-op.
That's the one, right.
But he oversees everything.
Yeah, and usually if you see a Kermit Lynch Coturon,
right.
he's collaborating very directly with that co-op.
Yeah.
So the difference here, you know what brings to mind, if you had a perfect piece of fish and you squeeze some lemon on it because it's drenched with really high quality olive oil, the oddest thing happens, that acidity, because this is more tart than this one, the minute it hits the lemon that you just squeezed on the fish, the wine will taste softer. Don't ask me why, but it does, which is neat.
I can't think of a lot of wine or a lot of food that this wouldn't go with, other than like all dry wines. Sweet food it would clash with, or anything overly spicy. Other than that, you can have these with anything. And it's sad that we only drink them when it's 90 degrees out, because these are wines you can drink year round. They're
with cheese, people have red wine and cheese on the brain. I frankly think white and dry rosé is a much easier pairing.
And bubbles.
And bubbles. And if you're just hanging out after lunch or an early dinner, this is not boring wine. You can keep drinking it. You can start really cold and let it warm up, and it will handle the temp change.
And these are quite limited. We only receive 15 cases each of the Bandols and the Fonsan. We have a good stock of for the summer. So, anything else?
No, thank you for letting us share. Anthony, it's always a joy to taste with you.
Cheers.